Capital to present to you an analytical report. But before we will start, I will tell a few words about 3x Capital and what we are doing. On a 20 million seed stage fund to invest in blockchains, startups in equity and in tokens. We have a focus on the blockchain infrastructure, like layer 1, layer 2 blockchains, DeFi, trading, insurance, lending tools, and Web3 applications. So today I will present to you an on-chain report on the Bitcoin. Let me share my screen. I just posted it today to my Medium channel, so hopefully you see it right now. As I mentioned, it's my first report this year, but actually I'm doing this report since 2021, so it's my 73rd report, first one that I'm presenting to you online. So what I say about this month, it was extremely profitable for many players in the market. The Bitcoin has grown 45+% in this month, and we almost reached $24,000 per one BTC. As an introduction, I would also mention that the market capitalization has grown from $0.75 trillion to more than $1 trillion. It's more than 8% growth. What we can also see that the Bitcoin volume has increased and almost twice, from 15 billion on average per day in the previous months to 25 billion per day on average in January. Let's move forward. You will read the introduction on your own. So I want to go deeper today to the graphs. So let's have a look on the extremely important metric of the total futures liquidations. So of course, as we know, this type of rallies, they have a huge amount of liquidations. And to date, we have seen almost $100 million liquidations in short futures. You can see that we had like 3 waves from 165 million to 65 million liquidations of shorts. Also, speaking about the futures long liquidations dominance in all the exchanges, it's frankly, it wasn't a surprise for many traders, professional traders, but for new participants of the market, they don't understand that the liquidation is one of the most impressive events in this market. So we have seen the opposite situation a few months ago after the FTX crash event, but right now we have seen a short liquidation for 85%. So the dominance of short liquidations is much higher than long liquidations. So right now I would like to move to the important metric that we use in order to evaluate total balance in the spot exchanges. So what we have seen right now, that we came back to the level that we had in 2018. So we have almost 12% of circulating supply, 2.25 million BTC that are in the spot balance of exchanges. Of course, the largest exchange is Binance, that has the biggest position of Bitcoins in the exchange. Overall, we have seen a huge growth and a recovery during the last couple of months. The situation might be similar to what we have seen before in 2018. Speaking about the month's volatility, so we have achieved the lowest realized volatility for Bitcoin per month. So right now it's 24.6%. It's very similar to what we have seen before the before actually the bull market in April 2019, and then the continuation of the bull market in July 2020. Also, we have a look on that gives us an understanding of the total transfer volume of Bitcoin. And right now we can see that the daily transfer is around 6 billion per day. So it's very similar to what we have seen in 2020. And frankly, I'm looking forward to the recovery when people, as retail investors as well as whales, will start transfer volumes of Bitcoin. The heights were in the third quarter of 2022. Just for understanding, they were like more than $40 billion per day. Speaking about the miners' revenue minus fees, right now, of course, it's negative because of the market price and demand for blockchain. Block space is weak, so we can see that the miners are not very happy right now. Speaking about the supply that is profitable during this cycle, we have seen a huge increase in this part. So before, if I'm not mistaken, we had 50% of the total supply that was in profit, and after January, we can see that the amount of supply that is in profit has increased up to 67%. We have 12% increase during the last, I can say, 3 weeks. The relative realized profit and loss, of course, we can see that after the events that happened with Luna and FTX, when the net realized profit and loss was extremely negative, even comparing to all the previous cycles that we have seen in 2018, 2019. The Luna crash has shown the maximum ratio of minus 3.7, and for the FTX crash, also we have an impressive ratio. But on the 21st of January, we have reached out a positive ratio of net realized P&L of 0.2%. Speaking about the growth of the percent of short-term holder supply and profit, we can see that many new investors have joined the market during the previous months. The price was above $19,000 per Bitcoin, and right now those short-term holders are sitting in the profit. So we don't know what we'll decide to do with their tokens right now, but I believe the big part of them will be long-term holders in the future. Speaking about the long-term holder ratio, we can say that the previous 6.5 months were a great opportunity for long-term holders, and we had a loss of 0.67. That is very similar to the situation that we had in the beginning of 2019. What is worth mentioning that price where long-term holders actually start becoming profitable on average is 22.6. And one of the metrics that we also try to have a look on monthly basis is a fear and greed index. And what we can see right now that during the December, November, of course, we were in the fear zone from 10 to 40 ratio. And right now we can see that we are almost in the greed zone. So we even went to 30 to 61, and right now are in the greed zone. So frankly, that means that many players of the market fear of missing out or FOMO, and they might be interested to enter this market soon. But at the same time, people are greedy now and try to meditate and follow your emotions, because we are in the zone, and I think that we might go up if the price will increase soon. You can check the sources using my article that we will publish also in our channels. Thank you for your time. Yeah, very to mention that those on-chain metrics are more valuable for long-term investors like we are, and they can provide some insights on the current situation, the current, let's say, temperature of the market. To sum up this report, I would like to mention that the bear market started in November 21, and right now we have a realized a net loss of 2.9 and 3.7% of market cap per week. So we had the situation before, and we just shifted to the profit phase, where more participants as a long-term and short-term participants of the market are in profit. Of course, the BTC balance held on the exchanges has also decreased during the couple of years. So we reached the multi-year low that was before in February, and the realized volatility over the last month declined to multi-year low. It's 24.6%. So hopefully we will have a higher volatility really soon. The data transfer volumes, as I mentioned earlier, has collapsed from $40 billion per day in 2022 to just less than 6 billion per day today. And as I mentioned, we had a lot of short futures contracts liquidated during January, almost half of the billion in liquidations. So as for me, it was impressive month for all participants. Hopefully, the biggest amount of our listeners were in long positions. So thank you for attention. I'm looking forward to have your questions, and I'm closing the report.
Okay. Hey everybody, Petro is here. I'm Senior Investment Analyst at Strix Capital, and I'm really thankful for Ivan's article. It was quite insightful, and I came up with a few questions that I want to ask you, Ivan, right now. And let's start from those questions, and then we will move to questions from our chat. Okay, so starting with the first one, I know that you are doing these reports on monthly basis. What is the key differences that you observed during the last months and during the previous months? Can you summarize with a trend that we are observing right now, or maybe change in the trends for future?
Thank you, Petro. For sure, this month is absolutely different of what we have seen before. First of all, I see that the interest from retail investors is lower than before. At the same time, we had increase of volumes from the whales. So this is what I have seen different from the previous months, for instance. But also we can see that the amount of transactions is different. So this month is more active, and when, of course, people receive more profits, like a new retail investors who just entered the market, they start doing different actions that professional traders try to avoid, like making too many decisions in the same time.
Yeah, and do you think that this month can be like the changing point of current narrative and current trend? So the next month can be quite different from the previous ones?
Frankly, we have seen the huge performance during this like January, and I'm sure that the February.
Well, I guess we lost electricity. We lost Ivan. He is currently in Ukraine, and we have problems with electricity there. But I hope we can answer these questions with the article, which we will provide later for you as participants. And while we're waiting for Ivan to reconnect, I can see that we have a question from one of our listeners from the chat. So the question is, hey all, I've heard that you are holding a course for Web3 researchers. Could you share more details about it? Yes, it's actually true. We are launched the application for the fourth cohort of our Web3 researchers course. The course is about investment opportunities in Web3. Actually, we are providing insights of on how our fund is investing in startups. We are teaching on various aspects that should be considered while you're making investments. So actually, we are learning how to analyze tokenomics, how to analyze team performance, how to look at investors who are involved in this industry, and how to make profitable decisions. So actually, the first cohort will start their hand-on-hand meetings and classes from the next week, and currently is the last week to apply for the course. So we will share the information with our community after this call, and you will be able to know more details about the course and check how to apply. So we highly recommend you to check details that will be shared with you after the meeting. And unfortunately, we lost Ivan, and we will finish our meeting here. So thank you everyone for joining us, and stay tuned as we will make these events on weekly basis, and we'll be happy to see you to discuss more Web3 topics. Thank you everyone for participating, and stay safe. Goodbye.